So Nike Air Zoom Ultra, huh? Nike's latest technologies and airbags in the sole, but does it work? And what are they like to play in? Well, I'll tell you all about that today, and hopefully try and help you decide whether you should try and cop them when they drop, or sit this one out and let everyone else fight it out. Now, I've already made a pretty long tech talk about all the new stuff in the Air Zoom Ultra, so if you want to take the deep dive and really get to know them, you should totally go and watch that video after this one. In short, however, this is a concept boot, meaning that it showcases all the latest innovation and technology that Nike have cooking at the moment. And amongst those things is this full-length Zoom airbag in the outsole that's made to give you a higher energy return when you push off and thus make you more explosive. At least that's what Nike are saying. You also get a super thin, very soft mesh upper and some Flywire in the midfoot to help you with lockdown. But what's it actually like? Actually, let's stay with the upper package here for a while, where you've got this really thin textile mesh and silicone film package that actually works like a charm. You've got this nice softness to it in hand, and on your foot it also allows your toes especially to move around, and it takes the shape of your foot nicely. But I wouldn't call it soft in the traditional sense, more as a, should we call it a tight flexibility to it, because it's never uncomfortable, but I also get the impression that this is made with performance in mind. It's made to keep your foot locked in place, stay there without ever being uncomfortable, and I'm actually quite happy with the way these fit. Now the heel is a nice, pleasant, decent fit here, and I really love the foam pods on the tongue, which despite being, it has a non-existing thickness, but I never got lace bite, and that was really nice. And speaking of non-existing thickness, I mean, protection is, you're not gonna have much. But then again, if you buy thin boots like that, you probably already know and are okay with it. But what I like most about the upper is actually the lockdown, because despite being so incredibly thin, and when you look at it, it looks a little bit, it's see-through, maybe it looks a little bit fragile, but it manages to hold your foot impressively well in place, especially in the midfoot around the Flywire. But it's in this way where it's never overly restrictive, and that's really nice. I actually enjoy that a lot. Now, size-wise, the Air Zoom Ultra is a little bit weird. It runs maybe quarter of a size longer than a normal Vapor 14, and is definitely also a tad bit wider. For me personally though, it's not enough to go up half a size, so I would probably recommend that you stay true to size and just live with a little extra room. But 90% of you probably came here to see if the Zoom Air unit works, and it does, but maybe not in the way that Nike wants it to work. See, the concept is to make you more explosive, and while I definitely felt this springy cushioning when I plant my foot and push off again, I'm not sure I felt that it's more explosive than, say, a Vapor 14 or especially an Adidas X Speedflow with that carbon fiber insert in the outsole. With that said, Zoom Air feels great to run with, and especially that very direct interaction with the outsole and that quick, squishy feedback you get when you push off is really, really great. But as far as explosiveness and energy return goes, I'm not really sure I felt the difference. And if there is an effect I might not be feeling, I get the sensation that the softness of the pitch kind of swallows up whatever spring I might be getting. But Zoom Air is great, and so is the rest of the Synergia outsole actually, and I definitely wouldn't mind seeing a lot more of this in the near future. Now, the touch in the ball is more or less exactly what I expected, because it's very sharp and direct and extremely close to the ball, and you don't get much of that little hint of padding that a normal inner liner would also give you. So it's very direct and it's very honest. You also have, however, this micro texturing on top that gives you a pretty good amount of grip on the ball without ever being too sticky, so it feels good to dribble with. However, because of the shape, the Air Zoom Ultra doesn't feel as nimble or elegant on the ball as a normal material would, which leads me to 4 annoying things that you also need to know about. Because due to the extra length and the overall, should we say, bulkier shape of the boot, especially in the heel, it doesn't feel as direct or sharp on the ball as, say, a normal Vapor does. And somehow it feels like they used the shape or last of a sneaker instead of a football boot, which feels a little bit odd on your foot at first. Now, in other news, I got a little bit of strut pressure, especially from that stud there, and I don't particularly enjoy strut pressure. I also mentioned the heel, which does feel good, but I would have liked it to fit just a little bit tighter, wrap my heel a bit more to lock it in just that little bit better. And finally, there's the elephant in the room, Zoom Air. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the feeling of it, but in terms of that explosiveness and responsiveness and, energy return, I'm not seeing what the fuss is supposed to be about, sadly. So definitely this is a very interesting football boot in a lot of ways. But I would probably still prefer to wear a normal Vapor 14 due to the more streamlined and football boot-like shape. But if Nike ever decide to use some of these technologies on the Mercurial, or the Phantom for that matter, in the future, they definitely have my attention. Guys, what do you think about the Air Zoom Ultra? As always, let me know in the comment section right down below. And if you want to cop, make sure to sign up to Unisport right over there so you get the chance to be among the first and the only ones in the world to own one of these 1,000 pairs out there. Of course, also make sure you subscribe to the channel with the notifications on and maybe kill some time while you wait for these to drop by learning a few cool skills in the playlist right down there. With those words, I'll be signing off. Cheerio.